Hello and good evening everyone, I'm your host Nigel and I welcome you all to the Earth Updated Show. This month the world celebrated a couple of environmental days. Just for instance, World Wetlands Day, which is celebrated on 2nd of February each year to raise global awareness about the vital role of wetlands for people and our planet. This day also marks the date of the adoption of the Convention on Wetlands on February 2nd, 1971 in the Iranian city of Ramsar on the shores of the Caspian Sea. International Polar Bear Day is an annual event celebrated every year on February 27th. International Polar Bear Day is organized by Polar Bears International to raise awareness about the impact of global warming and reduced sea ice on polar bear populations. The day encourages people to find ways to reduce their carbon output, such as by turning down their thermostat or driving less. The day has also been used to encourage the installation of energy efficient insulations in their houses. And upcoming environmental days are World Wildlife Day, which is celebrated on 3rd of March, Global Recycling Day on the 18th of March, International Day of Forest and World Wood Day on the 21st of March, World Water Day on the 22nd and Earth Hour on 26th of March. And moving on to green happenings from all around the world. First off, we have deadly landslides wreak havoc in Brazilian city. The city, which is located in the mountains north of Rio de Janeiro, known as Petropolis, was hit by torrential rainfall in which around 100 people have died. Houses in hillside neighborhoods were destroyed and cars swept away as floodwaters raced through the city streets. According to meteorologists, the recent storm that hit the area delivered an entire month of expected rain in just 3 hours. The severe flood also hit a very specific part of town, soaking the already thick soil that sits above a layer of rock. The massive wave triggered mudslides that cascaded down the steep slopes, destroying dozens of homes and quickly overflowing the city's historical center. Many in its path were trapped and could not escape. Meanwhile, US mega drought worsts in at least 1200 years, researchers say. The mega drought that has gripped the southwestern United States for the past 22 years is the worst since at least 800 AD, according to a new study that examined shifts in water availability and soil moisture over the past 12 centuries. The research, which suggests that the past 2 decades in American Southwest have been the driest period in 1200 years, pointed to human-caused climate change as a major reason for the current drought severity. These findings were published in the journal Nature Climate Change. Jason Smerdon, one of the study's authors and a climate scientist at Columbia University's Lamont Doherty Earth Observatory, said global warming has made the mega drought more extreme because it creates a thirstier atmosphere that is better able to pull moisture out of forests, vegetation and soil. And lastly, Australia declared the koala endangered in the eastern part of the country, with signs of climate change contributing to the marsupials' declining numbers. The country's Minister for the Environment, Susan Ley, announced that the change from vulnerable to endangered and cited drought, wildfires and deforestation that infringes on the indigenous koala's habitat. The status denotes high risk of extinction in the wild and entails one of the highest levels of mortality for a species just below critically endangered and extinct. The designation is based on internationally recognized criteria according to the government. The endangered status would be reflected in national environmental law but needs final approval from the states, the minister's office said. And that is all for Green News tonight, folks. And today we are joined by Mr. Arjun Basu Roy, the Secretary of NatureMates, an environmental conservation NGO focusing on protecting the rich biodiversity of India. Good evening and welcome to our show, sir. How are you doing this evening?
Fine, I'm fine. Thank you for asking me to join this show.
It's our pleasure, sir. So, Mr. Basu Roy, let us start by knowing a little about your organization, NatureMates. Can you share in brief the motivation for founding it and exactly what does the Nature Mates do? What does your NGO do?
Yeah. So Nature Mates, actually we created Nature Mates in our school days.
Okay.
As a part of a nature club activity of WWF India Eastern Region State Office. So we were at school, so our only motivation of making a nature club was to, be close to nature, do some activities, do some awareness activities, some field visits, to learn more about nature.
Yes.
In our initial days, what we do mostly was to go out for field, go out for, bird watching, go out for watching trees, plants, and then we did a lot of awareness activities like we organized, sit and draw competitions, we engaged with people, and then eventually in 2006, we converted Nature Mates into a full-fledged NGO. So from the very beginning, Nature Mates was into various activities like working against illegal trade of wildlife,
Yes.
working to understand nature, working to understand our own surroundings.
Yes.
Nature Mates has a very keen interest in documentation of the natural things around you, urban wildlife,
Yes.
places near Kolkata, because we were students, we don't have the
Yes.
capacity to go out into forests and jungles and big places, so we always go out in the weekend, in the nearby areas, in the villages, in the close to Kolkata natural habitat, and we started documenting various things. We started documenting the lesser known things, like mostly people go for looking for charismatic animals, but we went out there to look for butterflies.
Yes.
We went out there to look for dragonflies.
Okay.
We documented the plants a lot, which we thought very important, because at the end of the day, conservation is you have to conserve the primary producer. This is how we were formed.
Yes. So on that on that note, your website notes that animal rescue as a core area for Nature Mates. So how does that work?
Hello. So in the initial days, when we in the school time, we were very much into rescuing mostly turtles from the market.
Okay.
We were there in various pet markets to rescue indigenous birds which cannot be killed. So we do it like that in the initial days, and eventually what happened, as we start rescuing animals, as we start handling animals, then eventually people started contacting us if they saw any wildlife in threat. So we go for even for a crow. If you ask, if you let us know that a crow is sick, it needs some attention, we will be there. We will collect it. We will try to save it from whatever it has gone through. So eventually now what we rescue is we rescue a lot of palm civets, we rescue a lot of kites in distress, we rescue a lot of snakes from the urban places, and not only rescue, we also guide people to how to tackle situation with animals and all. So we don't want to take out all the animals from urban settlement and release it back to the forest. So what we now do is we try to motivate people to live with wildlife, to be a little, when we comfort them by saying, these are the issues, you have to handle it like this, so that you and the wildlife can stay together in the same place. So this is our area of, interest, that people must know how to live with wildlife rather than to collect all the wildlife from other place and throw it into the forest.
So that is really great work, sir. So this is a note to our viewers. So if you know or if you find any wildlife in distress, you know whom to contact now. And moving on, Mr. Basu Roy, India is regarded as the world's 8th most richly biodiverse region with wide range of species, deserts, mountains and forests. So, but in recent times this biodiversity is sharply declining in all our 4 hotspot areas. So what according to you are the possible factors that are contributing to this situation?
Look, it's very controversial, but I know, but the simple truth is the population pressure.
Yes.
We are occupying their space because we are increasing in a disappropriate proportion. We are increasing too much. And why we are increasing? If you look at the entire Asiatic zone, the Indian subcontinent Asian and the Southeast Asian countries.
Yes.
These are the most comfortable areas in the world to live in for human beings.
Yes.
We are full of rivers, we are full of good soil areas. Our climate is warm. We are always we don't like the summer time. But the fact is that if you think globally, if you think rationally, people love to live. We are warm blooded. We love to live in warm areas rather than in the cold areas. So if you look at the population of Europe, if you look at the population of North America, it's stable or decreasing or not disappropriately increasing. But in Asiatic zone, mostly in Southeast Asia and in Indian subcontinent area, Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, all these, Sri Lanka, Thailand, everywhere you will get increase in population, and in India it is very high.
Yes.
So unless otherwise we can manage the population, it is very hard to manage our wildlife hotspot. We are talking about climate change. Why the climate is changing so much? Why because in these zones we are using all the things, fuel, energy of various forms, pollution of various things. We are more people, so we are doing it in a human way. So everything in collaboration, collection is playing a role on the decrease in biodiversity. Another thing what I also should mention is we are not very much focused into documentation of biodiversity in its entire spectrum. So what is happening? We are very much bothered about tiger. So we are bothered about its prey base.
Yes.
The concept of this apex predator and the pyramid and the base, that is not happening. We are protecting certain things like in a cylindrical form. So what is happening? The understory is not that well covered. The understory is neglected. From Nature Made, we always try to promote an idea which is the conservation of pollinators and conservation of secondary food source. Like why? Because that actually helps the entire pyramid from the base. It is a bottom-up approach rather than top-down approach. And if you work at the bottom level, the conservation funding, you don't need that funding. You don't need the funding for a tiger project. If you are trying to promote the bottom-up approach, we are trying to promote the lower order animals, and preserve them, we are trying to conserve them, and we are trying to documenting them in entirety. So unless you know how many different butterflies are there, dragonflies are there, different weevils are there, it is very hard to save the tiger. Because tiger and our species need the support of all these species to thrive properly. If you can't grow the forest, if you can't protect the corridors, if you can't protect the pollinators, even if you can manage to grow the number of tigers towards at such a point, but they will not be able to survive because they need all these things to survive healthy and properly.
Alright, sir. Before we let you go, we would love you to share with our viewers some positive ways they can contribute to Mother Nature as they go on about their lives.
So also from Nature Made, we promote inclusive development and we promote ownership of your own surroundings. When you are going into a forest, that is under some jurisdiction. But when you are going to your balcony, when you are going to your terrace, when you are going to your own pool, when you are going to your own workplace, those areas you have a supreme control. You have your own take. And we try to involve all the people in promoting conservation in their surroundings. So if you want to start conservation, you can start with just by putting a plant at your place. It cannot be a tree, it can be a shrub, it can be a herb, it can be a climber, but you have to plant it very judicially. You have to understand the ecosystem support it provides. It's not only aesthetic, it's not only the color of the flower that would provoke you to put that plant. we have to understand how much support it can provide to non-human things as well. Try to utilize every inch of space you have around you, in your workplace, in your school, in your terrace, in your balcony, in your surroundings, and we are conscious, citizen. You are conscious citizen in a way. You be aware of the non-human entities that are living around you.
Yes.
Be a little considerate about them, and you connect them with you with the help of that tree you are planting.
Yes.
It can change the world. Trust me, it can change the world.
Yes. Alright, sir. Thank you so much for taking out time and being a part of our show. Keep loving the planet through Nature Mates. Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks.
Hello everyone, I'm Mr. Green Mind and welcome back to Mr. Green Mind's workshop. While there is still time for summer to begin, why not prepare ourselves for it? Therefore, today I'm going to show you how you can make a portable DIY fan just out of your PET bottles. So let's get started. Well, in order to make one, you will be needing a small plastic bottle, sharp pointed object, a long pointed stick or any broken paintbrush, a metal soda can, and a string. First step, you need to take a plastic bottle and make 3 holes, one at the top of the bottle cap, for the second hole leaving 1 inch from the cap, and at last make another hole at the bottom of the bottle. Second step is to cut out the body of a soda can, then take a medium sized tape to make a circle on the body of the can, and then diagonally cut to make blades for your fan. This third step is to attach the fan blade to the stick with some hot glue. Then take the ring from the bottleneck and tie the string onto it. The fourth step is to take the string and put it inside the second hole. Then take the string out from the mouth of the bottle. The fifth step is to take the pointed stick, attach it to the fan blade, then put the bottle cap through the stick and tie the string below the cap. And finally, close the cap, spin the blade and have some cool breeze from your DIY fan. And if you happen to follow our steps and make a DIY fan on your own, then do share it with us via email, WhatsApp, Instagram or Facebook. Until then, Green Mind signing off.
Hi, I'm your host Fiona and welcome back to Planet Pop. We have taken a look back over the year 2021 and found some interesting environmental highlights. But can our contestants remember them? Let's see. Hi, can I have your name please?
Hello, I'm Gaurav Bhagat. I'm a law student by the way.
Hi Gaurav, are you ready for your questions?
Yeah, sure.
Alright, your first question. 2021 served as a year of comebacks in biodiversity loss as many species over the edge of extinction saw their populations recover. Which one of the following species made a comeback? Your options are humpback whale, Asiatic lion, the Saharan silver ant, or the Nile crocodile.
I think lion it must be. Or I never heard ants being extinct at all. It can be either lions or whales are also extinct, right? I think it is a humpback whales, maybe.
That is correct. Okay, your next question. The hottest day of 2021 was July 6th. Which country was this recorded in? Your options are Mexico, USA, Nigeria or Colombia.
I think Mexico is near the equator, so is USA. Either Mexico or USA. I'll go for USA on this one.
That is also correct. Thank you so much for calling in. Hello.
Hello,
Can I have your name please?
my name is Nandana Nair.
Hi Nandana, are you ready for your questions?
Yes.
Okay, your first question. In February, A project to build a giant island providing enough energy for 3 million households was given the green light by which country? Your options are China, Denmark, New Zealand or India.
Is it Denmark?
That is correct. Okay, moving on to your second question. According to reports, 46% of the Great Pacific garbage patch is made up of what? Straws, plastic bags, fishing nets or cotton buds?
Fishing nets.
That is also correct. Thank you so much for calling in. Both our callers won prizes from earthsmiles.net. Well, that is all for today, folks. If you want to be on the show with me, just register at this number. I hope to see you soon.
Hello and good evening everyone. We are your hosts Michael and Ritvik.
This is Earth Minute.
The West Bengal Forest Department is all set to undertake a conservation cum breeding program for fishing cats from next year with support from an international agency.
But Michael, why are these fishing cats being conserved? Are they going to be extinct?
You're partially correct, Ritvik. As marshlands continues to decline, the fishing cats often encroach into farmlands, hunting for food and attack poultry. This leads to merciless retaliation by villagers who kill the cats. Apart from these, people often kill and fishing cats while trying to catch non-domesticated pigs.
Okay, that makes sense. Can you tell us more about this program?
Absolutely. With funding from the Japan International Cooperation Agency, the West Bengal Forest Department has finalized a conservation breeding program for fishing cats. In the state, the program is likely to start from mid-2023.
And that's 1 minute, folks. And we will be back with more green news for you.
Until then, stay safe and love the planet you're on.
And that is all for this edition of the Earth Updated Show. We will be back, folks, with more green news for you, interesting gadgets to make, and much more. Until then, stay safe and take care.